All right, welcome to problem set 70. Today we are going to cover probability and designated order. So what is probability? Probability is a measure, and it's actually a fraction of the number of total possibilities on the bottom and the number of occurrences of your event. Now I love looking at this because probability tells us, honestly, if you look at the prophecies about Jesus being born and where he would be born and what he would do and who he would be, it gives us a really great picture of the fact that there is no one else who has ever lived on the face of the planet. Sorry, I couldn't write it on top. That would fulfill all of those things. So, when we look at prophecies like he will be born in Bethlehem, that narrows down all the people down very small. And then it says, but it'll come out of Egypt. And so you have to have all the people who were born in Bethlehem but came out of Egypt. You also have to get all the people who were born of a virgin, which is, to my knowledge, one. Then you keep going down that train and find out that the probability of it being anyone else but Jesus Christ is so minuscule that it has to be him. And it's just a great reminder that God works himself out through mathematics. So let's talk about probability a little bit. What you do is you put the number of whatever occurrence you're trying to find divided by the total number of options. So if I were to find the probability of a dice roll, remember that a die has the options 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So what's the probability of rolling a 4? Well, the number of occurrences of 4 in the possibilities is 1. There's only one 4 here out of the 6 options. The total number of options is 6. So the probability of rolling a 4 with one die is 1/6. Now, what about coins? If you are flipping a coin, you only have 2 options. You either have heads or you have tails. So what's the probability of rolling or of flipping a coin and getting heads? Well, it's one occurrence, right? One option out of the total of 2 options, or 1/2. Now, what about this? This one's a little bit more challenging. If we have 6 green marbles and 8 red marbles, 6 green and 8 red, and we put them into a container, and we pull one out, what's the probability of pulling out a red marble? Well, the probability of getting a red one is the number of red marbles divided by the total number of marbles, or in this case, 8 divided by 14. Okay? Again, you can see these probabilities are quite high, but if you were to put together everything that had to be true of the Messiah in the Old Testament, that probability would be very low, which means the chances of it happening almost impossible, except for Jesus. Now, these problems will get a little bit harder because now they're going to roll 2 dice. What are the possible options if you roll 2 dice? Well, you could get 1 through 6 on one of the dice, and you should copy this down in your notebook. I'll pause so you can get your notes out if you don't have them. All right, that was awkward. So I'm going to have you guys draw a table of the possible dice rolls. So on one die, you would have 1 through 6. On the other die, you would have 1 through 6. But the total amount that you would call that roll, well, you would add them. So if you get both ones, you would add that up, and you get 2. 2 and 1, you would have 3. 3 and 1, you have 4, and so on. And so we can make this table that shows all of the possibilities of potential dice rolls if you add up the 2 dice that you rolled. Now, once you have this table and you want to figure out the probability of rolling, let's say, a 5, then you're going to count the number of 5s. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't count these ones, right? Because those aren't the total roll. So there are 4 5s divided by the total number of options here. How many spaces are there? Well, it's 6 by 6, so that's 36. Or the probability of rolling a 5, if you roll 2 dice, is 1/9. So that's probability. Now, let's go to designated order, the other part of our lesson. So sometimes we will want the probability of one event happening and then another event happening. The thing that I can say is most important is you will multiply if this is the case. Multiply. So what if you have one die and you want to get a 3 the first time and then a 3 again? Well, the probability of that happening is very small because you have the probability of the first time getting a 3. There's 1 3 out of 6 options. And then you want it to happen again. But instead of adding these, that would increase the probability. We multiply them because the chance should get smaller of you getting a 3 on the first roll, picking up the die, and then rolling it again. And so if they have you do that, you will write out the probability for each possibility and then multiply them. Well, that, my friends, is problem set 70.